Coffee with Keto Simple. My name is Dustin. I'm so glad you're here. This stream will be starting soon, so grab your coffee, get comfortable, and settle in. We're building a strong and supportive community, so say hello in the chat, ask questions, and feel free to use super chats if there's anything that you want to see highlighted. Thank you for being here and being a part of this journey. Let's keep it positive and respectful as we connect and grow together. I can't wait to get started. Good morning, everyone. How are you all? I hope you all are doing fantastic. Thank you. Thank you all so very much for being here. I'm excited that you're here. Got some new features in my streaming software here. So as I'm looking over my notes, I've got my notes on my screen right above it here, and I can see the video footage now, where I wasn't able to do that before. How cool is that? I can see you guys right next to all my notes. Look at that. Isn't that just divine? Isn't that so cool? I mean, it means nothing to y'all, but anyway, let's get started. My goodness. How many of us have been in a spot where we're staring at a plate of food, wondering whether it's healthy or not? Feeling like we had to learn a whole new language about health just to survive. I think we've all been there. We've all had to learn new languages, how to read in a different way, how to look at packaging differently, how to look at the foods that we purchase from the grocery store in a whole new light. We've had to learn a lot of stuff just to make some of the most subtle changes in our lives, right? Some major changes, some subtle changes. And most people you see here started in a place that was complete departure from what the medical and cultural status quo told us was normal, right? That's all of us. You know, the status quo is to worry about cholesterol, is to worry about all kinds of things, right? High blood pressure, all these things that we're told to avoid sodium, to avoid saturated fats, to help us get healthy, right? But we've learned that basically these things are complete opposites from what we were told. And a lot of us, we've come from the standard American diet into low carb, maybe keto, even straight into carnivore. And that shift wasn't small, wasn't easy. And it was a deep examination of everything we thought we knew. For decades, we thought we knew what we were doing. Low fat, you know, we needed to eat low fat. We needed to cut back on our meat consumption. We had to eat more salads. We had to eat our vegetables. Every single one of us has grown up with a parent or someone telling us to eat your vegetables. If you're not eating your vegetables, you're not doing it right. You're not healthy enough. And it's pretty crazy if you ask me. And Cindy's 2x speed to catch up, 5 minutes to catch up. So she'll be caught up in about 2.5 minutes, right? But here's the part I think that gets overlooked. Because I don't think change stops once you leave those old ideas behind. Some of us are going to continue to evolve. Maybe it's going to be from keto to carnivore, maybe high fat to moderate fat. Maybe it's something entirely different. And that's okay. In fact, that's really should be the norm, right? We should be evolving, whether we started at keto and we're going to evolve into carnivore, like I said, or some people are going to jump headfirst into carnivore and realize they need to back off some and maybe backtrack to a little more ketovore. They need to add some more things into their diet to make it more well-rounded for themselves, because none of these things are a one size fits all. And one thing I hope that we can avoid is when we make food and lifestyle choices, hopefully we're making those dependent, and or I should say make those choices, you know, dependent and not dependent on a rigid ideology. Hopefully that these things aren't becoming part of who we are as a person. That, you know, whether you're a keto person or a carnivore person, that's not becoming who you are as a person. That living carnivore is who you are. Living keto is who you are. That was me for a long time. I embodied everything that was keto. That was me. That was legitimately me. I was keto. If it's not keto, it's wrong. That was me for a couple of years. And I think we all kind of make that kind of mistake, you know, in this. And it is, and in my opinion, it truly is a mistake, because once you go and you make something like that your ideology, that's part of who you are, then it makes it so much so difficult to make changes if you need to. That's where I think we did, you know, that's where I think a lot of people are with the ideology. Like, I can't not have carbohydrates. I couldn't live without my bread. I can't live without my macaroni and cheese. I can't live without pasta. I can't live without my insert candy or whatever, my popcorn. I can't live without these things. I can't survive without them, because realistically, what we consume really does, for a lot of people, become an extension of who we are. And we have to be careful of that. Because when what you eat becomes a part of who you think you are, you then set yourself up for a spiritual or an emotional trap. You stop listening to your body, you stop adjusting, and you stop learning. I eat just ribeye steaks, and that's all I'm ever going to be from now on, from today forward. Ribeye, salt, that's for me. That's all I'm going to do. That's who I am. And then you begin to ignore telltale signs of not feeling your best, because you can't see it any other way, because that has to be what is the way. That has to be the way. And, you know, we have to understand is that real health is not being wed to a label. Like, you know, that's, I am keto, I am carnivore, I am vegan, I am paleo, I am whatever. We see that so often. And we have to remember that this is all about a self-discovery, understanding who you are, understanding yourself. It's about being willing to change when what you're doing stops working. And for some of us, it's going to. There are some of us here in this very chat today that lived a specific lifestyle for for multiple years, and then it stopped working. Had they had been super rigid in their ideology, they may not have been able to go and find, or even be willing to ask the questions, what's going on? Why isn't this working? And find the answers. They have found the answers, and they have started to figure out what's going on. Thankfully, but they weren't so rigid that they were able to think, what's happening here? Why is this not working for me? And it's about helping others without demanding they follow the exact path that you take. Because if we get locked into the idea that there is the only one right way, there's only one way, then we've replaced the old food rules with new ones. And that's the very thing that we walked away from in the first place. So let's think about that for a little while. Let's chew on that while we jump into the chat. And I have my first sip of morning coffee today. Right here. And Mr. Bucky Beaver Cup holds my coffee today, as is most Sundays. I made this about an hour ago and it's still super hot. But Evelyn is here. She was first that I saw. Sometimes when I pull these in, whoever actually was first may not be showing up. But anyway, good morning, friends. So glad you are here. Hit the like button, ask a question, stick around, and be kind. With the evil laugh that only evil Lynn could bring around. We are glad that you are here. And Brenda Foley, too. Good morning, Brenda. Glad to see you. How are you? And Mr. Dish is in the house. Mr. Brian Dish is in the house. Good morning. How are you? And Mr. Brian Doyle is in the house. Good morning, gang. Mr. John Gugahan is in the house here. Good morning, sir. Good morning, all. I am going to throw a load of laundry on, and I'll be right back. I imagine he's done that already. It reminds me, I should have switched out the laundry before I started this, but hey, here we are. Here we are. I didn't switch out my laundry, so it'll wait till about 10 o'clock. That's fine, right? It'll be fine. We're going to get through this day. We're going to get through this, and we're going to have a good time. Sean Bradley is here. Good morning, Sean. How are you and Shell? I hope you're both doing fantastic. I went to see, just really something just for Sean, but others, you can hear too. It's not a secret. Wednesday, I went to Cincinnati with some friends. I was invited to go see Ghost. They're playing at the Heritage Arena in Cincinnati. I went to that. That was my first experience going to a show that utilized Yonder bags. If you are not familiar with what a Yonder bag is, it is a nylon locking bag that they put your phone in when you come inside the arena. They wand you down, check your ticket, do all the things. You go through security. And then you take your phone and you slip it into this nylon pouch. And it's got a big strap. And I was lucky it was freezing for me. Like my lip is still not really recovered from how cold it was. Still very chapped. Very chapped. But, the phone goes in the Yonder bag. I took that around my neck and stuffed it and then zipped up my hoodie around it. The downside is you don't realize how much you rely on your phone for everything until you can't access it. So, there was things that I like taking photos of stuff and sharing it with Shander because obviously she did not go with me to the show. She is not interested in seeing the band Ghost. I don't know how many. I think this may have been close to my 10th time seeing this band. The first time I saw them was in like 2012. Something where 2012, 2013, something like that. I forget. I saw that. Maybe it might have been 2012. I saw them play in Chicago for the first time. They opened up for Mastodon and Opeth. And that was phenomenal. I loved their first record since I heard it for the first time. It's very tongue-in-cheek, very, I don't know. It's hard to explain to people who are outside of kind of like the rock metal community why it's tongue-in-cheek. But anyway, they had always said that they wanted to be a large stadium arena band. And I thought, this will be interesting to see. And they have accomplished that. This was the first time that I've seen them in an arena. I've seen them in, like places like the Riviera, the Vic. I've seen them up in Milwaukee, seen them multiple times here in Indianapolis. They did play an amphitheater, but they were the opening band at an amphitheater for Deftones and Avenged Sevenfold years in like 2013, 2014. That had to be 2013. So yeah, I've seen them a bunch, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen them quite a few times. So probably, I don't know, between 6 and 10 times. I don't know. But anyway, and Amy said that would be a no-go. Too many people rely on me in case of emergencies. Well, realistically, there are like gates where you can go and they will unlock your phone if you need it. It's not a Faraday cage, so it's not like you're blocking the signals. So if it rings and you absolutely need to get to your phone, you just go up and they'll unlock it for you. You use it, then lock it up again. And Amy is asking, what's the reasoning for that? I mean, there's so comedians use it really to keep people from filming their material because they want to keep it, or like especially in situations where comedians are writing new material or they're working out new material and it may not be what they want or how they want people to see it because it's going to end up being a special or something. But really it comes down to, it's really about an experience. Anymore you go to these shows and you are inundated, you are watching a show behind 1,000 screens because everybody's holding their phone up, recording, going live. They're doing live streams or live streaming the show. And so there's just so much going out about the show instead of paying attention and being in the moment. So, I mean, there is some info, the band doesn't necessarily want all their stuff streamed out. They're not doing anything. They're not playing new material. So that's not really what it is. But I mean, it was nice watching a show and not being, because, looking at 1,000 screens as well as the show. So I think that's kind of why, really, I think that's the bigger picture. The actual, I mean, the tickets for this show were ridiculous. Like our seats were like $300 seats. As I said, I didn't pay. I couldn't afford to do that. But I was invited by a friend who had, so 3 friends of mine were going to go to the show. One friend backed out. So there was just this extra ticket. And they just said, hey, come on and hang out with us. I'm like, sounds good to me. So I went and was a wonderful time. Got to hang out with some friends I don't see very often. And yeah, so I think that's really what it comes down to, is the just not staring at 1,000 screens while you're trying to watch a show. But anyway. Brenda says, fantastic is the word. I love it. I love the word fantastic. It's a great word. It's a fantastic word. Fantastic is fantastic. I love it. Sandy Blythe is here. Good morning from chilly Florida. It is currently 18 degrees here in Indianapolis, Indiana, central Indiana. High of 28 today. Tomorrow, a heat wave. All week is going to be a heat wave. Heat wave Monday, 29 low, high 38. Tuesday, low 28, high 46. And then it starts to shift the other way, going back to a low of 25, high of 38, then a low of 24, high of 36. It's going to go back to being winter time because that's where we are. But I digress. That's what's going on. That's what it is. And there we go. Cindy is here. Good morning, Cindy. Christian Delorme is here. Bonjour, Christian. Hello. How are you and your wife? Hope you're doing wonderful. And Cindy, I hope you and Brian are doing fantastic. I love you both very much. Sorry to hear about Max. But that pupper dog lived a fantastic life with you too. So I don't think a pupper dog could ask for a better life. Little grape salty here for everybody. For me. Grape salty, delicious. Oh my goodness. Grape salty. If you want to try grape salty for yourself, save 10%. Use Keto Supplement Shop. Hit the link for Keto Chow as well as Salty there, and you can save 10%. Yes. Amy is in the house. Good morning. She says, hi, Dustin and friends. Don't forget, Monday, March the 2nd, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be meeting at Smokin' Fatties up in Elkhart, Indiana. It will be me, most likely Chandra. I think we're picking up Lisa along the way. Amy will be there. Joe and Rachel will be there. I don't know who else is coming. Sound off in the chat if you are planning on meeting us at Smokin' Fatties on Monday, March the 2nd, 6 p.m. to close. Think they close at 10. So a good 4-hour little chunk of time to spend with us. Let us know what you're thinking of. Oh, yes. Let us see. Brian says, IDK, for decades I was oblivious. For a long time we've been oblivious. You know, I mean, how many of us grew up eating snack wells because those are healthy. They're low fat. We tried to follow the trends, the Oleans, the snack wells, all the things that were out there and said that, hey, if you want to eat, you know, I remember my grandmother being like, hey, here, this is rice-a-roni. And I'm like, this stuff's delicious. Well, you can eat as much as you want because it's low fat. You can eat all you want. And I ate lots and lots, bowls and bowls and bowls of rice-a-roni. That stuff is absolutely delicious. And I know if Rick is in here, he's going to say that that's duck food and it's gross, disgusting, whatever. Rice-a-roni was delicious. Really, truly was. And I was told I could eat as much as I wanted because that was good and healthy for me. They're trying to make me sick. Chandra was under the weather all last weekend and into the first part of the week. She's still trying to get over being sick. It's still trying to hit me. It's trying to hit me with like a runny nose and stuff. So I'm still not feeling awful or bad or anything like that. But it's like just on the cusp. You know what I'm saying? It's just like right there. It could come. It could be nothing. Carl says calories still mess me up. As I study, no one can agree how to count them. Messes with my head. But that's the thing. I think that there's so much there. I mean, there's, to me, like calories are so ingrained in our heads. Calories are so part of the zeitgeist, right? That my nose is just itchy. Calories are kind of a way to put things neatly into a box. This serving is 200 calories. This serving is 100 calories, even though we know there's about a 20% variance on anything and everything, any label that's on a store shelves. I mean, even when we're talking with meat, there's no true understanding of the calories in any of the meats that we're eating because we don't know for sure if or exactly what the fat content is of any meat we're eating. We can look at a steak and we can go, well, this one's fattier looking than this one, but we don't know for sure. To me, calories are kind of a loose guide because it's the one piece of information we think we have locked down. We think we have it locked down. We think you eat less than 2,500 calories a day, you're going to be in a caloric deficit and you're going to lose weight. But then again, we see people on the internet where they're like, I'm consistently hitting my macros and I'm in a caloric deficit and I'm walking every day and I'm going to the gym every day and I gained 5 pounds. And then they're devastated. Absolutely devastated. They're like, I don't know what, and then they're going to utilize fasting or something as a weaponized way to move the scale. And it's devastating to me because That's not a way to utilize fasting, or even really to utilize the scale. The scale is nothing more than just kind of I mean, realistically, the scale is one single data point among thousands that can be utilized when a lifestyle shift has taken place. You're eating better, you're being consistent, you're actually taking control of your own life. These are huge data points. Look at your consistency. Just the idea that you are being consistent is a win. Just the idea that you have started paying attention in a meaningful way to what you're putting into your body is a win. Letting it all go down the drain because of 5 pounds on a piece of metal and plastic that you stand on with a screen that tells you how much gravity is impacted by you standing on it is ridiculous, because it may be a small data point, but for so many people, it's the only one that matters. Why is it the only one that matters? Why is how much we weigh so important when it's, I can't say that it's not important at all, because how much you weigh is a piece of data into how healthy you are. But again, it's a single piece of data. You're going to get more data based on height, how tall you are, and the circumference of your belly. That's going to give you more indication of how you are doing over the scale. Because you can have somebody like, you can take like Sean Baker, 6'5", however much he weighs, solid muscle. He's probably on the scale obese. He probably is obese based on the scale. So if he only looked at the scale, I am this much weight, I am this heavy, he could be in a tailspin and whatever, and just live on Doritos for 6 weeks or whatever. You know what I mean? That's what it looks like when the average person is so fixated on a scale. But it's kind of one of those things that gets baked into us. It's baked into our DNA over the last 50, 60 years of diet culture, of body shaming. I mean, really, it does come down to body shaming, weight shaming. I mean, it's not really, you don't really think of it like that, but it's true, right? I mean, we have to be careful that we look at somebody who is obviously very obese, and we have to let, they know they're obese. We don't have to tell them that they're obese, but we don't obviously also need to celebrate the fact that they are obese. So I'm not trying to say that either. But what I'm trying to say is, if they were making a difference in their body and you see them and you say, okay, they look like they weigh 500 pounds and they're doing their thing, what's telling them that they look like they weigh 500 pounds going to do? Nothing. It's going to make it worse for them. But, it's like we have to understand that weight in of itself doesn't tell us anything. Yeah, we know that if you're 5'6" and weigh 600 pounds, obviously there's a huge problem. But it's only one piece of the problem. I don't know. It's just kind of how I look at this stuff. And I think that, yeah. So much minutia, the minutia of this entire way of looking at calories and such. So anyway, Booby Goats is here. Good morning, Aaron. I'm so glad to see you. She says, morning, beautiful people. I'd eat ribeye steaks all the time if I could afford them with salt. That would make me so very happy. It all depends on your healing goals. Yes. My thing here is, if you are a person who is trying to heal something, by all means, go and simplify your diet as much as you can. Simplify what you're eating as much as you can. Eat steaks. But if you were to say, I am Aaron, I own my Aaron's total identity is ribeye steaks and salt. And if you were to do anything other, then I would mean not Aaron anymore. That's what I'm trying to say. We are in this community trying to better ourselves. So most of us are here trying to make the necessary changes, the small calculation, the calculations, the whatever it may be, trying to fix ourselves. What's going on? The years and years of problems, the years of bad dieting, the years of poor nutrition, all culminates into us being here in this community. But what my goal here is hopefully making sure that we can bring more people into the community and it not be a cult-like scenario. There are a couple of people in who are quote unquote leaders or thought leaders of our community that are borderline cult leaderish. And we have to be mindful of that. So we have to make sure that we aren't allowing the fact that, like someone like Erin here, make the fact that she would eat ribeyes every day be who she is. She's Erin. She's a mother, wife, all of these things. And none of that is ribeye. She likes ribeye. I love eating hot dogs, but I don't want to be hot dog. Does that make sense? I don't know if it makes sense. I'm a crazy person. You don't have to listen to me. Yes, Erin is human. Hear her roar. Woo! Josephine is here. Good morning, Josephine. How are you doing? How is the weather in beautiful Australia? I hope it's beautiful there. I know that Australia is a beautiful country. Hopefully one of these days I get a chance to visit your beautiful prison colony. I love TV shows from Australia. I love Fisk. Fisk is a hilarious show. If there's any other shows that are Australian based shows that are funny like Fisk, let me know and I can see if I can find them. And because they're one of my new favorite comedians is an Australian comedian and he's hilarious. I gotta look up and see. I gotta remember what his name is. Let me see. Yeah, James McCann. I love James McCann. He's a great comedian. He's hilarious. He is Australian, currently living in the United States. He's hilarious. I love him. Sherry Lynn is here. Good morning, Sherry Lynn. How are you, my dear? Welcome, welcome. Brenda is excited that it's one day closer to seeing y'all at Keto Palooza. Speaking of Keto Palooza, let's see if there's any new information on speakers at the Keto Palooza. Let's take a look at that here. Let's look at this together, ladies and gentlemen, boys and ghouls. Let's see what's going on here. Let's share my screen. Oh, Carb Keto Palooza. Share that screen. Let's go. All right, so Brenda's excited for Keto Palooza. We'll move that down and we'll go back over here so I can see what's going on. What's going on? All right, again, Keto Palooza is in Louisville, presented by Keto Chow. It is the Keto Fan Reunion, October the 8th through the 10th, 2026. Tickets are currently available. Current speaker lineup we see here is Ken and Nisha Berry, Maria Emmerich, Kim Howerton, Courtney Luna. We got Robert Sykes, Autumn Weathers, and additional speakers to be announced. So that's where we are still currently. So that's where we are. We will be seeing some more. So itinerary, what's going on, all the things. It'll be fun. Let's see if there's any sponsor updates here. So basically, right now we just got Keto Chow Salty, I'd imagine if Robert Sykes is going to be there, Keto Brick's probably going to be a sponsor. The last time I was there, the sponsor we had was it's like Keto Chow. There was like different people like in the and you know in the little hall where all the different companies were set up. Yeah. So yeah, Keto Palooza. There is a Facebook group if you so there is a Facebook group if you want to join that. So go to ketopalooza.com and join the Keto Palooza Facebook group. That's where we are with that. So let's keep going here with all of you wonderful people here. And so Evelyn was like, you couldn't take photos. No, you couldn't do anything. Your phone was locked in a nylon bag. It is kind of irritating, but I understand why they do it. Biscuits in the house. Good morning. How are you? And Sean loves to take videos of bands recording. Yeah, I get it. I mean, I've taken tons and tons of videos, but it's kind of almost in a weird way, kind of like people who take photos of fireworks and videos of fireworks. You're never going to watch those again. Andy is here. Good morning, Andy. I'm glad to see you. She says, dreamt about my dad again. He's been gone since 2012. Love that I can still interact with him in my dreams. I dream about my mom sometimes. Like, it is kind of strange because you'll wake up and you're just like, wow. Sometimes like that, there were some early times where you'd wake up and you just be in tears and stuff. And then you kind of wake up and it's like, oh, mom was there and this, that, and the other. I love it. I'm glad to see you, my dear. How are you and Susan? Sean is here saying, I love taking videos of bands' performances. I can see not having thousands of people doing that could make the experience better, but I like, but reliving or being able to relive those experiences. I think they're probably getting ready to probably put out they're probably going to be putting out some kind of concert video. There was like a film crew walking around interviewing all the different fans and stuff who were dressed up. And I think she had been on like she was like from MTV at one point in time or other. She looked kind of old, like older. But I think someone was like, oh, she was from MTV or whatever. I'm like, okay. But it was a good show, big production, really nice. Pyrotechnics and all that things, Patricia Hoffman, hey all, 0 degrees here in Rochester, New York, and snow. It's winter. We love it. I enjoy winter because I like the idea that it's cold. I mean, it's because like summertime gets so hot. It's nice to have a completely different feeling than just hot. And then you kind of get those middle ground where it's like, it's nice outside. It's 70 degrees, 60 degrees. And then it's going to be 80 and 90. And you're just like, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. Evil Lynn says it's 11 right now. The highest for the week is Tuesday at 41. Yeah, for us, Tuesday is going to be 46. Hopefully that'll make some of the snow and all the crap disappear. That'll be nice. That's the thing. That's the downside of the cold that bothers me is like the slushy, gross winter, always kind of snow all over your feet, tracking it through the house. Aaron's back. I'm glad to see you, dear. Welcome back. She had to take care of the geese. Something with the geese. Andy says, Susan and I will be there in Elkhart. Can't wait. I'm making a batch of my tallow balm to bring with. All right. Tallow balm. Let's see. It's going to get to be 51 degrees where Aaron is today. Woo! Break out the tank tops. Is rice-a-roni pasta? I don't think it's actually rice. I don't know. Let me look that up. Is rice-a-roni actually rice? Rice-a-roni is not just rice. It's a mixture of long grain white rice with small broken pieces of vermicelli pasta combined with seasoning. So it's rice and pasta. Let's see. Designed to mimic rice pilaf, and it's actually browned in butter before being simmered. I don't care. It's just delicious. I don't know. I don't know the last time I had it. I couldn't tell you. It's been umpteen years since I've had rice-a-roni. When was the last time you had rice-a-roni? Aaron says she remember having a terrible taste and didn't like it. Well, maybe there's something in the seasoning you didn't like. I don't know. I just remember it being like I remember it was heavy in butter. Like you sauteed it in butter, and then like you browned it in butter and stuff, and then you put like water in there and like sauteed it or whatever, and then it became that or whatever. Then you, I don't know, cook the water out, and then it was just, I don't know. I could eat like bowls and bowls and bowls and bowls of that stuff. That's why I was fat. Talking about rice-a-roni, macaroni and cheese. That's why I was fat. That kind of stuff. But yeah. Yeah, Google rice-a-roni. It's a rice and pasta blend. It's delicious, though. I can't help it. I don't know. Jerry, you overslept. No, Jerry. Overslept, I'm at 3.0 chipmunk speed. That sounds terrible. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, Jerry. Jerry. Oh, yeah. Every time I think of Jerry, though, I do think we watched Soul the other day, a Pixar movie Soul, and there was character named Jerry. Jerry, I'm glad to see you. Welcome. And Bread Biscuit, you are absolutely, concert ticket prices, they are absolutely insane. I'm glad I came up when I did. I used to go see 2 or 3 shows every week for decades. I haven't seen a show since 2015. Could never afford it today. I mean, that's the thing. Like, most of the shows that I go to these days are sub $30 tickets, which even for someone like me right now is a stretch, like a financial stretch to go see a $30 show. Most things I get to go see are by, I win tickets. I pay $5 a month for this service here in Indy called Do 317. It's called Do More, which I should be getting a dang text message sometime soon that I can text and see what's going on and see if I have a chance to win something else. Because they offer you tickets. When you do the Do More, you get like a weekly text, and they give you like 4 to 5 choices for things that are going on in your area, whether you want to do them or not. Most of the time, unfortunately, there are things that I do not want to do. But I did get a chance to go see Killers of Kill Tony last weekend. That was awesome. That was awesome. It was Harlan Williams, and Harlan Williams, which he was in Half Baked in the 90s, and then David Lucas, Hans Kim, and Martin Phillips. All funny guys. Did you see the commercial where the guy goes on the hot dog diet and gets shredded? I would love it. I need to see if I can find that one of these days. I'll look that up after this. Yeah. Woo! Caught up. Fantastic. Glad that you are caught up, Jerry. New t-shirt idea. Keto Simple, the morning regulars. We put the cult in culture. Well, protein Coke is coming soon. That sounds like an abomination. I do need to look that up. Let me look up some protein Coke. Protein Coke is a viral TikTok trend, often called dirty soda, combining Diet Coke with vanilla protein shake, commonly Fairlife Core Power, for a high protein, low calorie root beer float style drink. Typically provides 26 to 42 grams of protein with around 230 calories, offering a convenient creamy boost for fitness enthusiasts. So I don't necessarily know if protein Coke is a thing that's being made. So I don't think that Coke is making protein Coke. So there's that. Angela Mullins is in the house. Good morning. Welcome. How are you? So very glad to see you. Josephine says, beautiful and sunny today. Overdid it today. My shoulders are painful. So I'm listening and watching tonight. Trying not to move too much. Well, we appreciate you, and I hope that you do feel better, my dear. Get some rest. Make sure to relax. People saying hello. Thomas is here. Good morning, Mr. Prime Rib. How are you? So good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing wonderful. Evelyn says we might get flooded when our snow melts. Whew, I think about that. It's like so much water. Like if you get all this snow, I don't know what it'd be like. What, a half an inch of snow is like 3 feet of water? Or 3 feet of snow. I don't really know, but yeah. Coach Angela says it's 14 degrees here in Central Virginia, but up to 59 on Tuesday. Maybe I get my car out after that, and have had to drive my truck. Oh yeah. Evelyn said, we had some sort of pasta or rice or bread for every meal. I know why I was huge. Many times a combo of two or all three at one. Yeah. I mean, really, because that was how you got full. Because the idea that you're going to have what you're supposed to have no more than 2 or 3 ounces of meat with every meal. You're supposed to be full. So then you're shoving all this other stuff into your body. It's a wonder, Risa is here. Good morning, Risa. So very glad to see you. How are you? And Coach Angela says, besides my grandchildren keeping me up the last 2 nights, things are good. They go home tonight. My grandchildren live here. I've got 2 grandchildren who live here. One is 7, and the other is like 6 weeks old, 7 weeks old. So she's just hanging out, being a good kid. Brisa woke up with -1 degrees. Brrr. I do hope that this kind of, because like our electric bill this month was $600. Woo! That's so much money. Oh my goodness. There's probably a time where $600 was like a year's worth of your light bill. Whew. Brian says, Evelyn, I think Pittsburgh will get flooded once the snow melts, all running into the 3 rivers and all the creeks. We have been below freezing since the 23rd of January. I've been watching this show. I started watching this show for like the last 2 weeks or whatever. Joe and Rachel had mentioned The Lioness, which is a Taylor Sheridan show. And then a buddy of mine also mentioned to me The Mayor of Kingstown, which is a Taylor of Sheridan show. The Mayor of Kingstown, the first season was filmed in Canada, but it was supposed to be this Michigan town. And now the seasons 2 and 3 have been filmed in Pittsburgh. So I've been seeing Pittsburgh. And I mean, it looks vastly different from the first place they were filming. Why shows do that, I don't know. They just drive me crazy. But they film it in Pittsburgh. It's supposed to be somewhere in Michigan. But yeah, it's a dreadful show. Like it's a great show. Like the stories are okay, and it keeps me entertained. But it's just dreadful. There's not a scene that goes by that something isn't horrifically going on. That's just awful. Like, I don't know, if a town really, if this something like that was really going on in a town, like, it would just erase it and start over. Evelyn says, I had a severe headache yesterday, took meds and laid down for a nap, woke up at 7:45 p.m., but I didn't know, and asked why we were missing Dustin on the TV. My family said, it's Saturday night. Oh. Mr. Gugahan is leaving for church. Have a great day, Mr. Gugahan. Be safe and enjoy your day, all right? And thank you for being here with us. Aaron says, I'm scared to look at my electric bill. Yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, it was so high, we had made the kids chip in on it. Risa says, my rib is still bothering me. I have been rubbing it with Tiger Balm or putting on Salon Pause patch at work. Come home and relax. Oh. Yeah, I mean, it's rough because we've had to have it on emergency heat because it got down into the negative temperatures. So you want to make sure that your furnace just kind of runs and keeps it at a decent temperature. I mean, we only keep it at 65. It's not like we're tropical living in here. Sean says, my wife and I live in Central Virginia as well. Supposed to get to 60 on Tuesday. Can't wait because I haven't been able to drive my car for 2 weeks. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Carl says, yes, in a recent interview, a Coca-Cola rep announced that they will be combining Fairlife Protein and Coke. They own both brands. Oh, okay. I don't mind Fairlife. Fairlife is some milk because I love milk. I grew up on drinking lots and lots of milk. So Fairlife milk is something that I can have every once in a while to give me that milk vibe. It's probably not really good for us, but it's what it is. Cindy says, today's high is supposedly 31. Ours is supposed to get up to 28 today. Tomorrow in the 40s. Tuesday is supposed to hit the 60s, then back to 40s for highs for the next 5 days. And Aaron's asking Risa, have you gone to the doctor yet? I do hope you feel better soon. Yes. Go see doctors. I know that ribs, whatever, probably nothing they could do, but yeah, at least get checked out. Yeah, I hope you're feeling better. Yeah, I hope you're feeling better, Evelyn. I hope you're feeling better. And Risa says, Evelyn, I have not been to the doctor. From experience, doctors can't do much for ribs. That's true. It's very true. I mean, sometimes depending on how bad they're broken, they can at least make sure they're not like puncturing something, Yeah. And I hope Brian's feeling better too. Sean says they're projecting my next electric bill is going to be over $500. I just kind of wonder, like, how bad is it going to get? Like, the bills and bills keep going up, and everything's going up in food, and bills and bills and food, and everything's going up and up and up and up, and to the point where people are just like can't afford it anymore, and everything just collapses. I mean, because they keep having meetings, and they have these meetings like our utility companies have these meetings. We want to raise prices. How do you feel about it? No, is how I feel about it. Don't lower prices is what we want. Why? How about why don't we get together and have meetings about our utilities and say we want them to lower prices? We think they should lower our prices by 20%. What? Then have a vote and they have to lower our prices by 20%. Instead of them having meetings to raise our prices, and who shows up to these meetings and votes to raise prices? Does anybody go to these meetings in your towns and your cities where like the utility company wants to raise prices and people are like all in favor of higher prices? And like, no, nobody does that, but yet they continue to raise prices. So what the F is the point of having these meetings if nobody votes to raise prices? That I just never understood the idea. Like you go and you say no and they raise them anyway. So like nobody goes. That's probably what happens. Evelyn says headache is gone, but I feel kind of foggy today. Well, just rest. Rest easy, my dear. No, it's gone. No more grape for right now until I can make another one. Karen Harrington's in the house. Good morning, Karen. How are you? Harrington. I have met and had been on a live stream with a gentleman named Kevin Harrington. I imagine no relation. As I imagine Harrington is, Kevin is a person who lives over in the UK. He was friends with the Beatles. He was good friends with George, and actually lived in his like castle thing for a while when George Harrison first bought his mansion in the 60s, early 70s. They lived there, and I was asking him, I was like, was you guys have like security? He goes, no. Like it'd be late at night and you would just hear people crawling on the roof. Like that's terrifying. Like, oh, it's George Harrison's house. Let's go crawl on the roof. That's insane. Amy's on her way to church. Have a great day, dear. Be safe. Yeah, every time I've ever broken a toe, I just tape it. I tried to rip it off once. Was not a good idea. Don't try to rip your toes off. It really hurts. Angela says to Sean, that is why I am thankful I bought the car I kept for my and kept my 4-wheel drive truck. That's right. I love it. Cindy says it's only been above freezing 2 days since the snow and ice hit. Like the problem like here will be the temperature will raise closer to the freezing mark. It'll get up like 31 degrees. And then all the snow starts to slushify, and like you get used to driving on the hard compacted snow, and then it starts to slush, and then you're like slipping and sliding again. It's pretty crazy. Cindy has a yard full of ice. Well, go in and get some and make a nice cold drink. Reese's ribs aren't broken, just bruised. If they were broken, it would be way more painful. Oof, yeah. Pretty brutal. Karen says, no relation. Husband's mom and dad were the only child, and we had girls. Yeah. I mean, this person's like, I don't know how old he is. He's pretty old. Like, let's see. Let's see. Oh. Yeah, so it's weird that he got the job when he was like 15 or 16 years old, too. But yeah. Let's see. 2 weeks ago, Coca-Cola may add fiber to its popular drinks. Why? Why? Considering adding fiber to drinks, following the success of Diet Coke Fiber Plus in Japan since 2017. Why? Why? I don't understand. And it's like in January, Coke CEO James Quincy hints at protein and fiber. Why? Ugh. Anyway. Yeah. And Risa says we are expecting the next day or so to stay in single digits, and then we are supposed to go upwards of 40 degrees for the week or so. Can't wait. Ugh, like I don't mind it, but like, yeah. Wait, can you eat the snow ice? I mean, probably a bad idea. I mean, you could don't eat the yellow snow or the brown snow or the black snow, but I mean, kids do it all the time because kids. Andy says, we've had a fire in the fireplace almost every night to combat the icy temps in the house. January will be a high month for, oh, yeah, ridiculous. Ridiculous. And Josephine says, I've heard that snow holds air. Is that true? Well, I mean, it's usually air rated. So, I mean, it's like it's fluffy. So there's like space between. And yeah, I don't know about holding air, but it is mixed. There is air, like it's just, I don't know, and water expands. So, you know, and I think it's 1 inch of rain to 1 foot of snow. Yeah, and Evelyn says some of the teachers at school gave children recipes to make ice cream from snow. Yeah, yeah, for sure. My great grandmother talks about how they would take the snow and they would pour maple syrup over it. Like, but back then it was real maple syrup, and it was hard to get for them too. In like the early 20s of 1920s. Ah, coffee is so good. Ah, coffee is so yummy. So one thing that I've learned how to do recently, and I don't know, let me know if this is something that would bother you guys. I mean, and I don't know really how well it's going to work. It's probably more so for people who go back and rewatch who go back and watch the replays. But YouTube, and maybe interesting for those of you who are also creators as well, who are monetized. But YouTube has affiliate partnerships built in to the YouTube studio and such now, to the fact that you can go in to your videos and um click on and go into the content, go in and click into products in like the back end, and then you can add product and tag products into your videos. So I've gone back into some of the older videos, especially some of the ones like the waffle, chaffle, where I'm using the Dash Mini. Now, I had links in the description for my, Amazon affiliate links at some point in time for those Dash Minis. But going in and now, if you click and tag these products, then they will show up on the screen during the video. And so if you guys start to see that, that's kind of what's going on. Like, and I'm going to start, since I use Nescafe's Intense espresso, I can tag that into these Sunday morning coffee videos. And so if you see that, understand that's where that's coming from. I think it's kind of important to be transparent about that. It is an affiliate thing. Like some of these things I can get, some of these is like usually about, anywhere from 2% all the way to some products are doing 30 to 75%, which seems crazy, but 75% of like $2 or whatever it is, right? Some of these things, some of these things you're tagging in, like the jars of the Nescafe coffee that we use are $9 a jar. It's still cheaper than the Nespresso pods we were using, but because right now we have Amazon delivering those to us every 2 weeks, 3 every 2 weeks. So 3 jars every 2 weeks. But yeah, I just kind of want to be transparent about that. So if you start seeing little things popping up on the screen of products and such, if you click on that and you purchase those things, that does help the channel by a little bit, depending on what you're purchasing. Like I said, some things are 2%, 5%, 7%. Some things are 10. I've seen some items as high as like 75% commission. I mean, that's pretty crazy, but I mean, there's like 2,500 companies. I try not to, if there's something in there that's tagged, like some things you'll purchase and will come from Target, some things will be from Walmart. But I mean, even there's like some stuff in there that's from like Temu and things like that. So I try not to tag those things. But it's just a new kind of thing that's come around, a new way to add revenue to the YouTube. So if people are watching videos and such, like especially old, like my my original white bread chaffle recipe is it's got like 40,000 views on YouTube. If people watch that and click it and order some of the waffle makers for themselves, and I get 20 cents, 50 cents, whatever it is. But at scale, if that's a big thing, that video continues to get views over time and they buy those over time, then that's a little bit of money here and there for me. But again, like I said, I always want to make sure that I am being transparent. So Evelyn asked to see about doing an affiliate through Bones Coffee. I can look and even see if that's on there. Because I mean, there's like Dash. I can go directly through Dash. I can go through, some of my videos are gonna like, I can put in things from like Hollyland, some of like the stuff that I use, like these things like this is Hollyland, this microphone kit. There's things like that I can tag. So if anybody's ever interested in that stuff, if it's tagged, then you can click and buy. I mean, all these things are typically also within the thing of Amazon and stuff like that. But let's take a look and see. Let me see here. Cindy released a video 31 minutes ago. The Cybionics GS3 glucose monitor and the ketone sensor. They've reached out to me. I wasn't sure if it was real, so there's that. So it is a real sponsorship, I guess. So Cindy has been utilizing those. So she's got a video that came out 30 minutes ago. If people want to go ahead and make sure to put that video in the chat here, that would be awesome. Let me go ahead here and look at this YouTube Studio. Oh, let's see. I can go into this live here. I can even go in and I can go ahead and do what I like to do, customization, and go in and redirect this to Coach Bronson and Nat's live for later today. We'll get that put there, episode 93 for them. That'll be 10:30 this morning. So be on the lookout for that. This will redirect you over to that if we go that long. We haven't been going that long for a while. That's 3 hours. I haven't been talking that long. But I want to go into the details here. And again, you can't see this. I don't know if it's something you'd like to see the back end of this or not, but let me know. But I'll see if Bones Coffee is even a, let's see. Let's check here and see. Bones Coffee Breakfast Blend. Let's see. Bones Coffee. This is all Bones Coffee. I don't know what you pay for the coffee. I don't have any discount options, I don't think. But there's a breakfast blend medium roast. There's a Guatemala whole bean. Let's see. I would be a 10% commission for me for Bones Coffee. There's high voltage, cookies and dreams ground coffee, French toast, Highland ground coffee, S'more time, Columbia single origin. They all look to be about $17.99 to $19.99 a bag. So I don't know what you pay for your bags, Evelyn. So let me know. Does that sound like something? If I tag these and they're $20 a bag, because here's a Sun Twin Tiramisu whole bean coffee. Bones Company Dragon's Lair dark roast. Crazy vanilla caramel. Costa Rica single origin. Mudslide whole bean. From dusk till donut. Salty siren Bones coffee. There's a whole lot of, there's Keurig pods, salted caramel whole bean, Better Brains mushroom coffee. So I can tag Bones Coffee into this if you guys would want. I don't know what, was there a flavor? There's what the fluff flavored, crazy nut ground coffee, Irish cream, White Russian, Pina Colada ground coffee. Let's see, there's cookies and cream cold brew, latte pack, 4-pack, Frog's Breath chocolate whole bean, Army of Dark chocolate. That looks cool. Like an Army of Darkness blend. So I'll add the dark chocolate one in here. I don't know what Evelyn likes. We buy them all, but the cinnamon one. I can tag them all. I'll just I don't know. I'll just tag a bunch of them here. There's a ground espresso. Like I said, I get 10% commission off of these. Again, just one of the things. Just one of those things. I'll start tagging these in here, the Bones Coffee. I don't know if you can dig in there and buy things that aren't already listed in here or what, but I will do that for you. I don't know if you use a discount. I still get a commission or not. It's definitely worth trying out. There's Frog's Breath, all kinds of weird stuff in here. Rough Weather, Rough RUFF, Blueberry Blast, Better Brain Mushroom Coffee, Electric Unicorn. It won't let me. That's as done. That's as much as I've got. So I've got 30 tagged products in there now. Most of it is the coffee. I need to get a coffee grinder in there, I guess, and my stuff. But there we go. There we go. Let me know if that's good for you guys, because I want to make sure to give you guys what you want. But that's pretty neat. Risa says, Dustin, they are trying to make junk food healthy. They are selling protein candy at work. They keep promoting it. It's all like the tapioca fiber and 3 grams of sugar and make it with oat milk. I mean, I think there's a group, there's definitely a number of people who think that's healthy. I mean, even the manufacturing people will probably at some level think it's healthy. Now, I mean, obviously, some of the people that are making the stuff obviously know better, but there are people out there who are promoting it who are convinced it is healthy. I don't think everybody is in cahoots and thinks it's bad or whatever, but you know. It's just a thing. JJ is here. Good morning, Mr. JJ. How are you, my friend? Neville says I should get an affiliate through Bones Coffee. You'd make some money from us. Well, now I have attached some Bones Coffee to my videos. There's a bunch of Bones Coffee attached to this live stream right here. Live and direct, right for you guys. JJ says, being a Louisiana guy, I got to have my community coffee. By the way, coffee with carrot cake keto chow is so yummy. I love it. Community coffee. John, Together Strong, is here. Good morning. How are you? Glad to see you here. And Evelyn says we get a teacher discount, but yes, that's the price. Karen loves the Bones coffee. Obviously, they buy all of them, but the cinnamon ones. And Carl, as they said, they've tried almost all the flavors of ground coffee. Strawberry cheesecake. I don't know if I didn't add that one, so my apologies, but I can always make sure to add that later. Maybe add that to some other coffee videos. I don't know if I can add that and like make that into a thing, like it just automatically attaches to every video that I make. But still, it's pretty neat because this is a new thing. Because for a while, the only products I had attached to my videos were links in the description, which people just don't care. Unless you're watching a review video, like link in the description down below. I mean, I have all these links, and even whether you go to ketosimple.shop or whatever, you know, there's always issues with ketosimple.shop and whatever there is, you know, whether there's a like buy me a coffee link or if, you know, whatever. And Risa said she bought Bones Coffee for a while. They make fun flavors. And Evelyn says we'll give you a heads up before we order. Okay, sounds good to me. I'll just tag a few in each video that I put out. Just let me know. I probably have to film a video sometime today because I don't have anything for next week. Last week I had a video come out, and then like I had shorts come out through all the week about it, but tagged in it and seemed to do okay. Most of those got over 1,500 views, except for one had like 100 views. So it's weird when shorts are like that. For the last 28 days, I've had 30,000 views on this channel, which is a lot for me. That's a lot for me, let me tell you. So, let's take a look. I think it's interesting the idea that companies like Coca-Cola and such are going to be releasing protein versions of soda and things. And it seems strange to me. Like, why? I mean, they're doing it to meet demand, right? If there's a TikTok trend of people adding, whether it's Fairlife or Pure Protein or whatever those brands are called. You know, I know that people mix their protein beverages in with coffee and make lattes or whatever you want to say. So, I mean, that's nothing new. Um, yeah, I mean, that's the same thing as like people who mix up keto chow and mix their coffee with keto chow. Um, yeah. Yeah. So, what else is going on? What else is going on, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? And Evelyn says, I'm glad to see you've been doing more videos. I am actually planning a video. Um, that's talking about some of the things that are linked to electrolyte, like low electrolytes in the body. Some of the things that kind of, and obviously these are things that are linked to that, but it doesn't mean that they're going to fix them for everybody. Again, no, there's nothing one size fits all. But basically in the line that kind of goes into what electrolytes are, and then it goes into kind of 5 things that electrolytes can have an issue with, like fatigue, anxiety, blood pressure, you know, poor sleep, muscle cramps, restlessness, you know, those type of things. And basically, because I also want to talk about why is it that electrolytes are so difficult, like high quality bioavailable electrolyte are so hard to find in stores. Yes, can you go to Walmart and you can buy Element, you can buy Liquid IV. These are things that are in stores now. But again, like with Element, you're going to spend $9 on 6 packets of electrolytes. And if you're a person, that's like 3 days worth of electrolytes for some people. And I don't even consider, I mean, not that Element is a bad product. We understand that they have some maltodextrin in them, though I know that their newest flavor, the lemonade salt, doesn't have maltodextrin in it, at least in a level that shows up with the iodine test, like their other flavors do. Um, but still, $9 or $8.88 at our Walmart for 6 packets. I mean, we buy Liquid IV, but it doesn't have any magnesium in it. Liquid IV doesn't have any magnesium in it. I had there's a friend of mine who is looking to get a sponsorship for electrolytes, and he loves Liquid IV electrolytes. So when he travels, he takes bags and bags of them with him. And I was thinking, and I told him, I was like, you know, if you're looking for a sponsorship for this, I was like, you know, maybe we could look and help him get salty, because like I don't have any connections with Liquid IV at all, but I do happen, you know, I do know a guy over at Salty, right? But he wasn't really, yeah, he wasn't, not necessarily wasn't interested, but he just likes Liquid IV, and he's like, that's the sole thing he really drinks. So having too much electrolytes may not be a benefit to him in that instance. So I was like, okay, that's fine. But it's just kind of got me thinking, like, the average person considers, and I know I've got a video about this already, kind of touching on the differences between, you know, like why like Powerade and Gatorade aren't real electrolytes or whatever. They're more designed towards in the moment, especially with the sugar content, in the moment energy, in the moment for, you know, athletes in the middle of a game. And that makes sense if you are, you know, 6'7" and you're running up and down the court for 60 minutes nonstop and you're sweating, then sure, Gatorade's perfect for you, right? But, you know, for the average person trying to take in daily electrolytes, it doesn't make much sense. So I was just like, why is it so difficult? Especially when we were in Colorado last time. Last time we were in Colorado, I was looking for decent electrolytes, decent zero sugar electrolytes to try to bump up my sodium and all that stuff, because I was having some altitude sickness issues and I felt so awful. It was awful, awful, awful. Like I was buying like beef jerky and just eating beef jerky because there's so much sodium in beef jerky, and I was drinking these electrolytes, whatever I could find that was zero sugar. And I don't think we even find Element at the time. And it was also like it's only 6 sticks. I need more than that. That's so much money. So we were doing everything we could do, and like and I understand companies like Salty and such aren't going to necessarily be in retail because I don't know, would they even be able to price themselves? Would they might be $10 for what, 10 sticks? I don't know. I mean, that's basically that would be not necessarily off the mark because they sell there's $33 for 30 sticks, but at least maybe they would be you get 4 extra sticks for the price. I don't know. We'd have to wait and see. But yeah, that's just kind of an idea of a video that I'm going to be working on. Susan and I are working on Super Bowl tonight for cooking for the Super Bowl. I'm just trying to decide if I want to go to my buddy's house or not. Just driving over there, hanging out. I mean, I don't mind because I haven't really watched much football this season, but I used to love watching football. That was a normal thing, but I just haven't had a lot of it's like it's hard to sit down and spend 3-4 hours to watch a game. It's like so much. It's such a time commitment anymore. So yeah, and they're having a few friends over tonight, and I'd probably just stop and pick something up to head over there just to have something to snack on. Pick myself up a 2-liter or something. I've been drinking the Sam's Choice 2 liters, but like the Coke Zero version, and then their Diet Sprite version. It's pretty good stuff. I mean, realistically, there's not a huge difference. And JJ says a friend at work has a son with hyperhidrosis, hyperhidrosis, who plays football and baseball. I got him hooked on Salty. That's awesome. Hopefully, I don't know if you have a discount code. Put them towards me, but I have a discount code. Have them buy it through me. Save 10%. But yeah, I love it. That's the only one I really drink anymore is Salty because they've got grape. And I ended up with a bunch of the watermelon, which is really good too. But yeah. Oh. So I'm trying to see seeing if there's any information here. And kind of jumping back, I was talking about a gentleman that I follow on Instagram. And he was talking about, he's like, I want to lose this weight. I need to start adding more fasting in. He's just in such a hurry to get the weight off. And I understand that feeling. I understand just wanting to get to the finish line. But what worries me with that mentality, and also what worries me is the fact that so many people celebrate that mentality. There's so much celebration. Maybe that's a video that I need to make too. Maybe I need to write that down. A video based on why weight loss being the center goal and only focusing on the weight itself and not the transition, not the satiety, not relearning how to, not relearning and building better relationships with food. I think that we do get so wrapped up in the weight that we want it gone. We want to be skinny. We want to be buying normal clothes. We want all of these things. And then we get so wrapped up with, some of the people that have been in the chat in the last couple of weeks that look at the fact that if you haven't lost all of the weight, then you must be failing at something. And I'm thinking, while yes, there is a component to that where weight loss and such is a piece of the puzzle, but overall relationship building with food, reshaping what your food intake looks like, reshaping the relationship that you have with junk food, and how are you building new relationships with better for you food? How is reshaping your overall health and why that should be more important than just the number on the scale. Because it is, and also to where people will weaponize fasting if they have a cheat weekend and they went off the rails on the weekend. So that means I'm going to fast Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I'm going to do 72-hour fast because I had this pasta on Tuesday or Saturday night or whatever. We can't, and we're weaponizing things against ourselves. I think these things are like the punishment idea of it is not a good look. I don't know. There's just so much about everything that's just, yeah. Has anybody tried the chocolate peanut butter salty yet? I have a whole bunch of the testers I've not even tried. I haven't tried the green apple. I haven't tried any of those yet. I have them. I just haven't had a chance to try them really. Maybe I make a video on trying some of those. I don't know. Sitting down and making that kind of content is difficult when there's always somebody in the house. And it's difficult to film that stuff here in this little location. I don't have a lot of room here. I'm very tight spaced, very compact in here. But that's something that I do plan to work on. And Karen loves the food freedom. And JJ has had the chocolate peanut butter salty in water and coffee. I think I have it. I think they sent it to me. I don't know when that came out, or maybe I don't have it. I have no idea. It's just difficult the last couple of months have been crazy for me. Trying to keep up with everything. I don't know if there's yeah. Oh. Woo. So anyway, what's new with you guys? Yeah, and Evelyn says the green apple reminds her of Jolly Ranchers, and I think that's kind of the goal, right? I tell you what I want. I tell you what drives me crazy is the fact that there is the Snapple apple. There is a zero sugar version of it, but for whatever reason, I cannot find it in most places here in Indiana. I found it once or twice. I found it at a Kroger one time. I was like, yeah, but then it's just difficult to find. It's not at Walmart. They've got the peach tea, the diet peach. They've got whatever, but no diet Snapple apple. I even reached out to the Snapple, like, what is up with this? Why don't you have this? Yeah, Risa says that Chris has said that you can order as many prototype packs as you want right now. With the chocolate peanut butter, I ordered 3 more with my reorder of caramel vibes. I love it. I haven't even placed an order in Keto Chow for a while. I haven't ordered any salty or Keto Chow because when I ordered the grape, I ordered like 4 bags. So I knew that would last. I still have some of that. I need to go and place an order. I need to get Shanda some more of grapefruit. She loves the grapefruit, and we're running low on that. We buy when it's on sale for $20 a bag, the liquid IV, because she takes that to work. So she takes a packet every day to work of the liquid IV, the zero sugar, because it comes with the peach, which is a fantastic flavor. It's a white peach. I love it. She's not a fan of it as much, but she'll drink it at work. And it has like the lemon lime flavor. She loves that one. They're good. But we buy them when they're on sale at Costco for $21 or whatever, which is a pretty smoking deal for electrolytes, even though there's no magnesium and it's very low potassium, but at least it's only like 500 milligrams of sodium. So it's not that crazy of an electrolyte, but yeah. And Risa says green apple salty is delicious. I still have one left for my prototype pack. Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of them. I gotta try this stuff. I get stuck on things. That's okay. But I'm caught up with the chat. Only 90 minutes into this live stream. What should we do, ladies and gentlemen? What should we do? What's the plan? So I mean, we talked about the stuff, about, putting, things first and not letting diet become who you are, not letting it be you, not let it define you. Because we don't want rules to become our identity. Because it traps us. Then we feel stuck. We feel like we can't try new things. We feel like we can't tweak things if things no longer feel the same. Or then we feel betrayed by that. If we end up feeling betrayed. Well, this should have worked for me. This should have worked. It works for everybody else. Why is it not working for me? Like, what are the differences between guidelines and dogma? Like a guide, a guideline is keep carbs as low as possible. Keep protein as high as you can without causing issues for yourself. Utilize fat as a kind of a lever, help yourself with satiety. How do we do that without trapping ourselves? Oh, but I guess we're caught up for the day. Does that mean we're going to say goodbye? Maybe. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll call it an early day. Maybe we'll say goodbye at 9 a.m., hour and a half live today. I don't know. Maybe if there is one idea that I want, you to walk away with today is this. Your health journey is yours. And it's not a checklist. It's not a badge. It's not a line you have to stay on forever. I mean, you can, I plan to be in the keto carnivore spectrum for the rest of my life. That part is not going to change. But again, to me, it's a spectrum. It's not a line in the sand. It's not, I'm carnivore. I'm only carnivore. This is all I'm ever going to be. Because tomorrow is unknown. How my body reacts tomorrow. How keto worked for me in the beginning isn't how it's working for me now. I was losing weight month over month for years, and I lost 150 plus pounds. And yet here I am eating similar to what I was doing then, and it's not doing the same for me. How do I change? How do I navigate that? Doubling down and continuing to do the same thing is not necessarily the answer. Do I need to be more strict? 100%. Am I struggling? Yes, 1000%. I live in a situation that puts me at risk every single day to not eat things that I don't want. But the moment that we stop listening to our bodies and start demanding our preferences be rules for everyone, and most people here aren't doing that. But there is a subset of this community that looks at things this way. But people who laugh at those who eat broccoli, people who shake their heads if you add onions to your food. How could you do that? Plants are poison. Well, they might be poison for you. That doesn't necessarily mean they're poison for everybody. And I don't even necessarily think that plants in of themselves are necessarily poison. I think we've got and come to a place where there is so much sprayed into the ground, sprayed on the plants, that over time that it has made these foods so much worse for us. Because I can almost guarantee you 100, 200 years ago, people didn't necessarily have these reactions to the foods that they were eating that were grown from the ground. So I wonder if the poison isn't the plant in itself, it's what we've sprayed on the plants and what the plants have become. I think that's a big problem with gluten, the gluten intolerance, that there is glyphosate and all these things sprayed on all the plants that we eat, the pesticides, herbicides, what makes them grow bigger, what keeps the bugs away, all the chemicals that we're spraying on these foods that we would consider to be human safe probably aren't. And we don't know the long-term impacts of all the things that we've been spraying on our food for the last multiple how many decades we've been spraying this, on top of monocropping, on top of trying to add stuff to the soil. What is that doing to us? What is the what is the impact of the hormones being shot into our animal, our livestock? How does that impact us? How does that impact our health? How much of our health woes is from just poor practices in growth of our food supply overall? And how do we escape that? Because, yeah, sure, we can say we can go to, these, local farms that grow livestock that say they're not using hormones or whatever, but are these regenerative farms? Are they feeding cattle on food that is monocropped? Are they feeding them on, or whatever? Like, how do we get away from that? How do we get to a point where we're eating cleaner food? Because that clean food, as we would expect it to be, is not sustainable currently, because it's in everything, it's everywhere. Unless you are going to some regenerative farm, which is not very many, there's not enough. How do we do that? How do we figure that out? How do we get these foods that are better for us? How do we get enough to feed the planet? I don't know the answer to that. I don't even know if it's possible. The last 200 years we spent making food to feed the masses, and I think we've been doing it wrong, obviously. But I think understanding this, understanding that you're allowed to grow, you're allowed to shift, you're allowed to adapt, and you are certainly allowed to help others without insisting that they see the world exactly the way that you do. And we see this outside of the food culture too. But I digress. Health is not a destination. Yeah, sure, we want to get into Wonderland. We want to get to be, I would love to get to be below 200 pounds. I would love it. But I don't know what that looks like for me. I don't know what a low body weight for me, what my low body weight should be. What would I be at 180 pounds? Would I even look right? I mean, does that matter? But, health again is not a destination. It is a conversation with yourself, with your body, and with the world around you. Because again, we have to figure out, how do we find health in a society that's determined to make us unhealthy? Whether it's the food we have access to, the air that we breathe, the water that we drink, and the medications they want to put us on that don't actually do much benefit to us at all. Usually you get put on a medication, that just means you're on another medication to counteract the impacts of that other medication. How do we get to where we're healthy? Again, it's not a destination that we can even figure out. I think we are just in the beginning stages of I would imagine probably trying to get away from where we are now is probably a 500-year process. It's probably going to take 500 plus years to crawl out of where we've come in the last 200 years. Because I think we've dug ourselves such a deep hole that just clawing out of it is going to be a very long process. How do we relearn how to grow food? How do we relearn how to, to ranch effectively? How do we relearn everything that we've lost in the last 200 years? How do we do that? I want to say hello to Kevin over for its Tuber chat. He's here. And one thing that I wanted to talk about, Kevin, while you're here, make sure that you hear what I'm saying. I had said some stuff in your chat the other day, like last night or the night before, whatever it was, about some of the monetization tools that YouTube has provided, being able to link products to your stuff. And I'm not talking about tags like tag words that we've had before. These are like 2,500 companies that you can go into and search and find products that meet the content that you make. So I was in here today looking over with one of the people in my chat, Evelyn. She likes Bones Coffee. So I went and was looking at some of the companies, and sure enough, Bones Coffee has a significant amount of options to click and add to the channel here. And I went in and clicked a bunch of those. I utilize Nescafe Instant Espresso. I've tagged that in there. And it's actually to where it's tagged to the point where it shows up on the screen and people can click it and buy it. And then you get a percentage. Like Bones Coffee is a 10% commission. So if somebody buys a $20 bag of coffee, then that in theory is $2 to me. So these are things that are there, I think, that are very important, because I understand that your channel is not necessarily revolving around monetization, but I think monetization is still a important topic for creators, because without monetization, most of us can't keep our channels up and running. Yeah. So I think, I mean, because I mean, this is a new thing that I've seen, Kevin, is um going in and digging in, because like I have the only thing that I used to have products tagged to my channels was just my own merch, because I had my merch store linked to YouTube, but then YouTube has all these other affiliates, because I think it popping up is a little bit better than having the link in the description. Because they're making it harder and harder to find the description, especially now people buying or watching a lot on TV. I don't know how that's going to impact the sales, because if people are watching on TV, how do they click those things? Can they buy directly from their TV? Does it even show up on the TV? These are questions that I have as well. So yeah. Yeah, I just kind of wonder, like, how does that work? What does that look like in the future? How does, I know that a lot, especially with the TV that I utilize. Well, my TV, I have a Fire Stick, which is Amazon. So it would be nice if I could, or if there are ways to integrate Amazon links directly into YouTube. That way, especially with a lot of people are watching with Amazon TVs, whether they're Fire TVs, Fire Sticks, all that stuff. I don't know. Evan is asking me, I have not yet purchased my KPO ticket. But I am planning on driving down directly after the wedding. The wedding is a Thursday, so I will probably drive down directly after the wedding, because I don't want to get up super early and drive down in the morning of that Friday. So I'll probably still come down sometime Thursday. I just do not know what that's going to look like as far as what time I will be arriving. I still need to work on hopefully finding somebody who wants to be a roommate with me. So hopefully we can figure that out, because I can't afford to stay in the hotel all by myself. That's like $600-700. So yeah, I still have some logistic issues to work out before I purchase the ticket. But yeah, Holly Springer's in the house. Good morning, Holly. And I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you again to Kevin for joining us, and all of you wonderful people for jumping in and saying hello. I still have a bunch of coffee left, but the chat had slowed down. And I want to make sure I'm providing some kind of entertainment for you guys. Some sort of meaningful infotainment. Because it's not just entertainment. We want to learn something too. But just stay curious, stay open, and most importantly, try and stay true to what genuinely works for you. And if that changes, don't be afraid to shift and learn new things. So, yeah. Oh, you were watching my pickled egg video, huh? What did you think about that? What did you think about that? I thought it was hilarious. It was funny, and it was funny making it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed making that video. I enjoyed making the video. I enjoyed all of it. Josephine became a friend. Thank you, Josephine. She's a member again. Thank you, Josephine. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. And Evelyn is asking, have I listened to good podcasts lately? I've listened to Rogan a couple times. There is I don't know if anybody's familiar with the Y Files. He's been putting out more like podcasty style stuff. I'm kind of curious to listen to some of that stuff. I love that. I love like the alien, mysterious, mystery kind of like conspiracy theory stuff. I think it's fun. I like all that stuff. So hopefully, I mean, he's like the last episode he put out was like 3 hours. That'll take me a couple of days to listen to. Yeah, I'm really curious to listen to some of that stuff. Hopefully that's good. I got to look and see if that's coming out on my Spotify or whatever, because I know it's on YouTube. It's just one of those things. And Carl's asking, how do local regional meetups help keto health journey discuss? They do. So here's how they do that. Because it's one thing to have acquaintances, friends who live hundreds, if not thousands of miles away, and interacting with them here on YouTube chats. But it's different to have somebody living in your own town where you can get together in a large scale meetup, or you could even get together for smaller lunch meetups, like all the people who live in Ohio, like where Maitreya and Andy and Susan and everybody live, and then you've got like up in the northern side of things with Evelyn and Stacy and Carl and Ken. They were getting together and doing things on Thursday nights and stuff, or they're getting together and doing stuff together. Like how Jaqueline and I would get together with Jennifer Lucas and stuff that live nearby me. Or like, you got people who live in between with Emily and James from Ready Set Keto and such. So there's, when you have people who live nearby, and you can make a connection and you can get together and have that connection, because I think so many people are missing that with their home life, with a lot of people who have spouses who don't eat the same way that they do, or don't look at nutrition the same way that they do, or just don't care. I think it's so very valuable to have these small little meetups. I know there was a big meetup yesterday or Friday. I think it was Friday. Like Dr. Kilt put a big meetup on in Florida. That's really far away. I know there's going to be a meetup sometime in Michigan coming up, like later in the year. I think tickets are on sale for that. But I think the free meetups are so very important and valuable. Like I don't think we're going to be doing the May meetup, but I mean we're doing a free meetup March the 2nd in Elkhart, Indiana, at a barbecue place. So if that's something you may be interested in. It's free. I mean, obviously coming in, you may want to spend money to be there, buy a soda, buy some wings or some brisket or whatever. They do sell meat by the pound, so you can order something and you can get it without any sauce. But just getting together like that, I think, is so very valuable. Just getting together in person, because, I mean, while it is important to have these online communities, there is something very important, I think, it's baked into our DNA of being together in a room together, or being in person, because this whole online thing is very new in the last 20, 30 years. If you feel like 1996, so 30 years ago, I started being in AOL chat room. So 30 years as online communities, just 30 years. And the grand scheme of human beings, that's a breath. That's a second in humanity. But we have always been very community oriented as people. We've always been very, whether you're tribals, how you look at it, we had tribes, we had groups, we had communities, we had villages, we had all of these things. And it takes that. I think it takes a village to not just raise a child, but to be healthy and happy. And I think these days we live in cities of multi-millions of people that we aren't connected to. And just having that simple connection can truly mean the difference between success and failure. Because if you feel like you can be, like I said, we live in these multi-million person cities or towns of hundreds of thousands of people, and yet we've never been more alone in history. So I think realistically, getting together in these local regional meetups is beyond valuable, because I think it's truly necessary for our survival, for our success, to find people and interact with them one-on-one, two-on-one, 10, just together. Whether it's a one-on-one lunch with somebody who just needs that connection. Not just being here on Sunday mornings or joining, the community that Kevin has multiple times a week on his tuber chat, or, on the lives that Cindy does. I think it's so very, very valuable to get together, to know that you're going to get to see somebody in person, and you're going to get a hug, or you're going to get that visual connection together. I think it's so very valuable. And I think for me, these days, being kind of separated from people, I think since the pandemic changed. The pandemic was such a paradigm shift for most of us, that where most of us would go out and do stuff, now we've given ourselves the excuse that it's okay to not go anywhere, the excuse that it's scary out there. There's a lot wrong in society these days, but I think we've just given ourselves that permission to just stay at home, and staying at home is easy, but it's detrimental to our existence. I think I know how much better I feel when I do go out and I'm around people. It is harder for me to be around people now. I used to thrive on being around people. It is harder now. And it seems like, I think that being around people and making small talk, and just it's a muscle that atrophies, because I used to just be able to walk into a room and just talk and chat about whatever. And now I feel like it's a very difficult thing to do. So, yeah. Tanya says she laughed her butt off, and I really like them. My sister brings them to me from North Carolina. Yeah. The texture was just off, but it was a funny video. I did finally put together a playlist of review videos that Shannon and I did. There's like 130, 140 of those. Take a look at some of those. Some are extremely funny. Her reactions to things. She's a champ, and she tasted a lot of things. Like I said, those are some of the most fun videos that we've ever made. Unfortunately, they don't bring a lot of views, and they cost money, because most of the stuff we bought out of pocket, and most things are like $10 a piece. So like, we buy a box of something, it's $10 to make a video where we're going to make $1.50 on, and spend the time making it. Now, I know that that's not necessarily the whole point, but it just became terrible, like just more and more difficult, because we would be able to knock out like 8 to 10 videos in a night. Sit down, set up the camera, and just bang them out. And then I would edit them and get them put out. And so I guess But yeah, so I just want to say hello to everybody. Looks like Sherry Nevada Pup is here. Good morning, dear. Glad you could join us towards the end because we are coming up on that 2-hour mark. Evelyn did put the link for the quail egg video in the chat for everybody. It is also listed on the posts on my post page here on YouTube. And Risa says that local meetups are great for community. Connection is so important. I used to be a part of Chili Heads on Yahoo groups, and we got together a few times a year. It was so much fun being a part of the community. Yeah, I love that. I love it so, so very much. Let's see, I wanted to make sure that we show that, in fact, proof that Sherry is here. Sherry Nevada Pup is here. Good morning, good Sunday, all. Glad to see you, my dear. But again, thanks for being here this morning. Thanks for being willing to think. Let's keep the conversation going. I'm glad to see all of you. I'm glad that we are open, connected to each other. Hopefully a good amount of you can come out. Whoever lives in the Midwest can come to the meetup on March the 2nd, which is Amy's birthday. So we got to sing happy birthday to Amy that day. It's going to be a lot of fun. Evelyn, are you and Carl planning to be there on that evening? I don't know if that's something you guys would want to do or whatever. Stacy shows up here just in time to say that she's going to catch the replay. What about quail eggs? Oh, I was just sharing the video that the quail eggs that you gave to us and that we tried them on camera a year ago or so. As it showed up in my feed and I watched it and I was just laughing. I love it. It's so much fun. But anyway, with that, I love each and every one of you. Thank you, Stacy, for joining us the last second. Hopefully you enjoy the replay, my dear. Hope you and Ken are doing fantastic. I love you guys. I love all of you. And again, I have tagged in Coach Bronson and Coach Nat's live. That'll be live in about an hour or so. An hour, 11 o'clock, 10:30, 11. They're never on time. And that's okay. But with that, thank you all so very much. Cindy says March 2nd is also Brian's birthday, but we have several trips going on and cannot be there. Well, that's rude, and I don't like it, but I do miss you, Cindy and Brian, and I love you both very, very much. Hopefully we will get to see you sometime before then or after that, sometime in the near future. But anyway, with that, here come the credits. I love you guys so, so very much. And here we go.